Dear oh me, how long has it been, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Oh, I mean, it's been easily 2 months or more or less. I don't know how long it's been since my hour-long debut of episode 2 of Katawa Shoujo. Not debut, that's the first episode. First episode was 56 minutes, basically an hour. Second episode was an hour and 6 minutes, and I don't even know how long I want to make episode 3. I don't want to make it 2 hours. Let's just make myself clear on that. I can't do 2 hour recordings. That's just too much, but yeah, we'll see about doing an hour. I may make like a jump cut, where I just like pause, take a 20-minute break. So like record for 30 minutes, take a break, record for another 30, then call it a video. Instead of just making them two separate videos, make them into one. I think it's easier that way. I get more content out, because we never know when I'll record again. So, wife, I'm back in black, yeah. No, I'm actually back in gray, because I'm wearing gray, unfortunately. So, I'm actually back in gray. Not 50 Shades of Grey. No, we're not doing that. No. But, nonetheless, I have been actually listening to a lot of AC/DC recently. I've been doing that. That's pretty much it. That's the only reason I didn't get a video out yesterday. And I've been working on Cherry Blossoms. But yeah, now we're finally back in Katawa Shoujo, so that's all good. My voice does feel a little dry, so I may take a few breaks. Obviously for you it won't be long because I'll do jump cuts and stuff like that, but yeah. Let us begin. I believe the music is set enough so that you can hear me. It's on my computer. It is set to be at, I believe, 60%. So I'll lower it a little down in editing, hopefully, and raise up my voice a little bit, so that like I always do on these types of recordings, so that you can hear me and the music pretty equally, but the music doesn't dominate over my voice. That's the point. But I still want you to hear the music, because the music's really good, and it really does fit in with the game, so. And it's not even copyrighted, so. Yay! And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Let's see, where did we last leave off? March 21st? That means it's been a month and 2 days. It's been like 62 days. That's right, because almost it's about 31 days. So, 64, 65 days? Man, it's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time. I mean, at the time of that recording, March 21st, it was a little, not the midterm, because that would be mid-April. So, I'd just been a few weeks into third trimester of school, actually, high school, of, my second year. Wow. Man, I mean, it's been forever. I apologize, guys, really. Yeah, let's just get to it. That wonderful music. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. I apologize if I don't do the voices as quite right. You can imagine, in 2 months I haven't done much with these voices, obviously. So I haven't used any of these voices in easily 2 months. So if I'm not on par with anything, I'm sorry, but just bear with me. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh, you didn't do that voice right. How dare you, you bad voice actor, you. Because I'm not a voice actor, so your point is invalid, random viewer. Yeah, take that. Anyways, let's continue. I just wanted to apologize in advance for that, so without further ado, let's continue. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. Today is going to be very heavy. Yeah. Anyways, I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do. So this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat. But no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now. There is no escape." I've already forgotten the voice, haven't I? I think I kind of remember it, so we're just going to go with this voice. Okay. Hee-chan, it looks like I messed up. I failed utterly. Okay. Hee-chan, it looks like we're together again. Yay, yay! Ha ha ha, yes. Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now, unless I were to jump through the window. Well, no better time to kill myself. Jump out! Yes. That would be me. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. Aww. Well, for you, I don't know about you, but me, hey, that'd be the excellent option here. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh dear, here we go. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? Yes, except for us viewers, it was a lot longer than yesterday, I can assure you. Okay. It's okay, Hee-chan. You were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Right? I'm so happy that you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. That's good, so they understand the situation. Hey, that's something. I mean, let's be honest here. Most people won't even get the situation, right? So, hey, gotta give credit where credit is due, everyone. You gotta do that. Just saying. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. Yay. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. Lucky? Even if it is reading, it's more than 2 problems for me. Easily 5 or 6 or 7, 8. We could go across all over the number board, but we'll continue. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. Not me! Nuh-uh. That ain't me. No, it takes me easily 30 minutes just to get started. Oh, well then. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. Now that's me. That's what I would do. I wouldn't even be working with people. I'd be at my desk, doing my thing. Yeah, it depends on the class really, but chemistry especially. Anyways, I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Now that I think about it, I am pretty shy at school. It's funny that even though this is a setting that I'm not even, I've never even experienced. I've never went to any kind of school that was like this, guys, but I can relate to a lot of the characters, especially Hanako. So, yeah, maybe that's why I like this game so much. I can relate to the characters. That might just be it, why I like it so much. Now you know. Hey, that girl over there. Huh? Who, Hee-chan? Her, Hanako, over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, Hee-chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, Hee-chan. Why not? Shi-chan would get along with her. Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has that lilting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hee-chan. By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. You know, that's gotta be pretty difficult. Just saying, that's gotta be pretty difficult if you ask me. I don't even know sign language, so doing sign language while talking at the same time is like a foreign art form to me. What, Shi-chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that. You said it anyway. I know, Hichan. It's fine of you over here. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand the things Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time? So there's never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyway, we should start on the problems now, Hichan. We finish with time to spare, and I decide to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly the food so far has been subpar. Subpar? What does subpar mean? I was expecting superb, but not subpar. Subpar must not be good, because he said in alternatives, so he's probably suggesting that the food isn't that great. Which doesn't surprise me. Cafeteria food is never great. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. I don't care what years you had high school, the cafeteria has never been great. Especially the food. This sends Shizune and Misha arguing among themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go to all the way there. And what about the bill? Yes, the bill. Though if you have infinite money amounts, hey, that's great. I mean, I would love to eat out every day. That'd be amazing. Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Yes, arguing just for the fun of it. I mean, that's the best thing, you know? That's the best thing. Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The one with actual boxed lunches mixed in the chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels that I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she was invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder towards the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? Here we go. Okay, guys, we got a decision to make. We could either go talk with Hanako, or we could continue to read my book. I feel like continue reading my book would be kind of rude. Though, to be fair, I'd probably do that. But unrealistic me kind of... Okay, there's realistic me, and realistic me wants to read the book because that's something that realistic me would do. But unrealistic me wants me to go talk with Hanako because that's something I'd like to do, even though that's probably what I wouldn't do. So we're going to go talk with Hanako. I hope my logic makes sense. It shouldn't. I just hope it should. Alright, let's do that. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Hisao? Or at least she remembered my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up at me, I notice her scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from close up. That's okay. It was my fault. Now, that wasn't anyone's fault. It just kind of happened. So, are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at that door before. Yes, Lily. Oh, you mean Lily the blind girl? Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is a faux pas of the worst kind. We're just normal here. It's a faux pas. How do you say that? It looks French to me. And I've never even taken French, so I don't know. Defining people through their disabilities is a faux pas of the worst kind. We're just normal here. I don't know. Please tell me I'm not alone in not knowing what that means. Faux pas. Maybe it's faux pas as in because French they never say X. They don't say faux pas. They always say faux pas. They don't pronounce their X's or anything. In fact, they often don't pronounce their T's either, do they? I'm assuming it's kind of like a faux pas. Maybe it's a bad way to go about things. I don't know. Let's assume it's just that. It makes the most sense in this situation to label it as such, so we're going to go with that. I guess that explains why Lily took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. Are you two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lily to appear, she checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lily doesn't come here. Oh, because it's hard to get around the classroom? Not really. Hanako's gaze drifts past my shoulder and towards Shizune. Shizune? Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly this is something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense. Shizune and Lily not getting along so well. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I am the first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here now? Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door. Lily. Ah, Hanako. Good morning. Is the president here? Yes. Hanako glances over her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity. Enmity? Yeah, I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but that's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, then they would tell me. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that this school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. I never got really involved with that kind of stuff. Even give me 2 more years of my high school, I still won't know about any feuds. I don't really care much about what people talk about. Or if I do, it's simply because they talk about it in my presence when I'm sitting across a room or something. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't get myself involved with that stuff, so I would never know. I can't relate to that, really. Anyways. Hey, Lily, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lily is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Sorry, Lily, I thought you realized. No, it's alright, Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so, I'm still working this place out. Well then, I think you'll find most people here are a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I'll remember that. Lily? Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look all that comfortable here right now, and Lily still seems a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apology has really made any impact. Mind if I accompany you two? I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we could accommodate you, can't we, Hanako? She looks at Lily, then at me, and then she freezes, wide-eyed. Sure. Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but it can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave, all 3 together. Okay, guys, something's about to happen. Like I said, I've played this game before. I know what's going to happen next. This is my 2nd playthrough of the game. So yeah, I know what's happening next. And I know exactly not to do what I did to get the Emmy route. And that's a big spoiler, because, now you know who's coming up next. And if you've never played the game before, you probably... that doesn't make much sense to you, because you probably don't even know who Emmy is. But, yeah, I finished the game with the Emmy route, as I've stated many times in this playthrough, and I'll continue to do so whenever Emmy comes up with a conversation, which probably won't be much, because I'm going for a different route this time around. And I know exactly what I don't have to do to not get the Emmy route. I know exactly what I have to do not to get that route. And really, in short, it's being myself. Yeah, that makes no sense right now. But you'll see what I mean either in this part or part 4. You'll see. Yeah, we're next episode, episode 4, yeah. Part 4, episode 4. Same thing. Anyways, so we leave, all three together. Lily walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she is practically half hugging her as they go. Although it must make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little, and my vision briefly goes black. Dead end. And yep, now you know who's there. Ouch. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Well, she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins, and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Aw, man. Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic, in the herd puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or something, since herd puppies are my weak spot. Oh, well. It's okay, don't worry about it. Ouch. Oh, no. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself. Don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chests. Brilliant! Brilliant, would you say, everyone? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And most of all, notice that key term or phrase there. Not good. Yeah, you're right. Not good. I try to rub my solar plexus, whatever that is, to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. I guess it's the middle part of your chest or something. I don't know. It's been long before I studied muscles and bows. It's been a long time since I studied those stuff, so yeah. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realized that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time. But it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said I was fine and nothing's broken. No harm done. That's good. Misao, what happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounded very worried. More than what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me. Nothing serious. Just winded. Sorry, it's my fault. I was just going to get some stuff, and I was in kind of a hurry. That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything. Hi, Lily. Hanako. I guess the girls know each other. Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling. I know that. I was just... I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change and everything. Before any of us can say a thing, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Wow. Does that kind of thing happen often around here? There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that rarely stops Emmy, it seems. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight, composed smile. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off, then? Lily heads off along the hallway, and Hanako hurries after her. The route to the room the two use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Or in our case, 2 months from yesterday. Oh well. Lily and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily is busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting out both their lunch boxes. So, is this what you meant by coming here almost every day? Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly. After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last, after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met. So, how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seemed a bit flustered before. Apart from getting lost every now and then and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess. You looked pretty hurt before. Are you really okay? For a brief moment, I considered telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. I can't tell why, but for some reason, I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think that they're buying it, but in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things that they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right, since high school. So we've known each other since then? Since I moved? Yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right. Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who is to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out. I guess I'd better be off. Are you going to go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class, maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. Yes. I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in the wrong way. It makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane, Hanako and I filing out before her. We walk quietly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns toward me. Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes. Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. We made our way to our seats, and I noticed that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it is some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of this school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. Alright, I just wanted to wait until the bells so my voice doesn't get clouded in by those loud bells, you know. Hell's bells, not. Yeah, I've been listening to too much AC/DC. Yeah, okay. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling in the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Mataro is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Yeah. Sorry. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jab at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation, since there is nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he is holding, and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I consider joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Matil looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absentmindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako. It's not like you can ignore her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open, and wow, that actually shocked me. I did not see that coming. Teacher! Misha crashes in, hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts toward the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Mato, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something is wrong but has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Yes? But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it? Aye, we need help. We are running out of supplies at the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves a pink She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little, but that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there is some? I don't understand. How would I know? Shi-chan, the president thought that a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Muto looks like he is in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. Aww, what should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold dead hands, but that's a different matter. Aww, I don't have time, we are just so busy. She holds her head with both of her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumbles the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we are falling behind the schedule. Muto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I think I know what you have to... Obviously, I played the game before, so I know what he's talking about. Going to talk about, but still, even if I didn't, I think I would still know what he's talking about. I think you guys can guess what he's about to say, too. I wonder if you could get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me, focusedly, with a hard expression, as if trying to say, go make some friends. Well done, Muto. Well done. I'll be honest, Muto is probably one of my favorite characters in this game. He later on becomes one of my favorite characters, so yeah, I really like Muto. I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Hee-chan. You're really nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her fingers, yelping, ah, and looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Hee-chan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hee-chan? No, I'm not. Is Hee-chan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Muto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find some plywood from somewhere, if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help you, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not. Aww. Still, thanks, Hee-chan. Try to be quick. We are in a stall building street now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classroom's closet to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, there are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. And we get introduced to another new character. That's what this Act 1 is all about. It's really about two things here, guys. It's about, one, introducing all the characters, and two, deciding who... See, Kenna Shoujo is also... It's not just a visual novel. It's really a dating sim when it gets down to it. Because you basically, at the end of Act 1, you basically decide who you're going to be more or less seeing throughout the game. And by seeing, I mean kind of dating. It doesn't really appear like that at first, but that's really what happens. And you will know, because at the end of Act 1, there comes a cutscene. Like, remember at the beginning of the game? Yeah, there'll be one like that. There'll be a cutscene that basically let you know what you're going to, who, no matter what, good ending or bad ending, that's who you're going to spend the rest of the game with, and that's who you're going to end up basically dating. Kind of in a way. I shouldn't say dating, because you really don't date at first. You're really just friends at first, then it goes into more of a dating stage near the two final acts. And, yeah, I'm just rambling. I could take a small break here. I think I'll just take a small break here, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, everyone, and I would just like to apologize if in the first part of this recording that I was kind of reading a little too fast, I felt like. So if I was, I apologize. I'm gonna slow down. Slow down. Okay. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or non-use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corners, so at least this looks like the right place. And for those non-art people, easels are... I'm not even an art person, but I kind of know this. So, easels are like the thing, that they put, that they paint on, they hold, so they can paint. It's hard to explain. I think most people, even if you don't know the word, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, artsy stuff. Yeah. I would like to draw every now and then. Paint's pretty cool, I've never really accomplished anything in art, so I can't really, I wish I could have. I wish I was more artistic. I'm artistic, but not in the artsy sense, if that makes sense. I can be artistic, I can be creative as an artist, as a person being creative. I'm artistic that way, but I'm not artistic in that I can paint a landscape or anything like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, let's continue. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into an empty room. Anybody home? Somebody catches my eye, and I stop mid-sentence. And meet our new character, everybody! Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform. With a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing, or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and I'm trying to think if I should. This weird statement keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly, while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here, for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here, too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here, then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. Or Tezuka. I guess it would be Tezuka Rin. Yeah, Tezuka Rin Tezuka. Okay. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me joking about these matters. Doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me, and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word do you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch but dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I would say. I don't think you were supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now. My delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. Okay, I think maybe you guys know who I'm hoping to get a route with. Can you guys guess? I think you can guess. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for things. I was told to look for these things. That's an old joke. Anyone from my older channels might know that reference. Maybe not, I don't know. No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, endless delicious. Well, it's not really my gut, it's my heart, so I guess you could say it's something in my chest. Does that count as guts? I don't think it does. Again, body parts, I lost that mentality years ago. I don't remember anything. Yeah. The problem must be in your pants. I know, I've seen that before, but it still makes me crack up every time. Okay. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement, and the sheer lack of sheer lack of tact it was delivered, what catches me completely off guard. It caught me off guard too, and I've seen it before. It's out, so don't feel alone. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. The first thing that I can think of. No! Nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. Arrhythmia. Yeah. Arrhythmia. Ta-da. Yeah. I said it. More like blurted out, but I said it. I did it again, sorry. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me. Glowers? Is that a word? Glowers? And glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the past would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people and a person with, that kind of problem would have been great, really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh? So you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. How intriguing! Yes. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away. But I keep thinking about what she said. Or what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions, or is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Isao. I have a very serious heart condition! Nice to meet you! I have too much fun with this game, don't I? Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? I had this funny image in my head. I seriously imagine just the biggest smile on his face with his hand waving. As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. This is a serious moment, and I'm just making fun of the whole thing. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty, except for her murky green eyes, and which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone at this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again, and as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down to my haul and double-check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you are going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I felt that our relationship is, at this point, good enough to warrant this much. I was already turned to making my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine. Then I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there on her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, "What an intriguing person!" Yes, that's exactly how and what I would say. Okay. Yep, I'm having too much fun. Okay. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. Oh, what? Oh, jump scare! Ah! Just kidding, jump scares don't scare me. It just kind of surprised me. What did you hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gone jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. Misha jump scare anyone? I don't know. Yeah, episode 3, Misha jump scare. Oh, creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. Women everywhere, from all corners of the galaxy. Ah! Yeah. Oh, and look who decided to show up! Shizune, of all people! Shizune, attending slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who isn't there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hichan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Oh, sorry. I got the things here. We was just going to bring them. Yes. I think you were up to some mischief, Hichan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? Certainly not a girl. No, that's the last thing I would do. Oh, yeah, okay. Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. And as Shizune shifts to the side and opens the door, Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place, apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Well, that face though. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Oh, well then. So, what have you been up to, I wonder? Yes. I hope none of them talk like that, but, yeah. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Ah! Yay, we're all together now. Yay. And no, I'm not going to start singing the song. Don't you even think about it. I hate that song. Hate that movie. Ugh. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You actually are not permitted to use school property for such disgraceful activity. Yes. Coming from yours truly, Shizune. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. Me either! Me either, because I'm new here. Well, in game I am, but yeah, anyways. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune/Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop at the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulders, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too. And? We'll think about it harder. Yes. As Misha signs to reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Oh no. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha and Tao. Tao or Toe? I guess Toe. Tao would be T-A-O? I don't know. Anyways, Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. Indeed. It's true, though. I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. Rin is the greatest! She is the greatest! Yes! I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences when she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? Certainly. You're my favorite character in the entire game. I might as well. Yeah, I'm not taking that back. She said, don't even think about it. I ain't taking it back! You ain't taking me back! Yeah. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away from this world. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can, following since there's little choice for either of us. It's okay, paint can. You'll make it! You'll make it, paint can! I'm telling you! Don't die on me now! The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we two leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. It likes to keep my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below. Trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Oh, look who decided to show up! The nurse! Ah, Mr. Nakai. What a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he had some business with. I'm gonna try doing a certain accent for the nurse. Just give me a minute to come up with it. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on our current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So, we will have to do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything, and come see me if something happens, of course. Alright. So, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently, this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital, etc., 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 yada yada. You get the idea. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, but not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school in both the student space and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. This is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. No. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. Nothing? Just dot. Okay. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such, I just happen to know a few people, but that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. Yes! Weightlifting. See, that's what I would do, yeah. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulders without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Maybe. Maybe. No, I mean, he gives me a nasty sort of look when I say that, making me try to take back the word. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to the school. I'll promise to try, though. You're not being very convincing here, Hisao. Tip number 1. Medical professionals are not amused if you take their advice lightly. What's up with him? As if a day or two would make that much of a difference. I didn't do anything at the hospital either. Yeah, okay, sorry. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. Well, then, that went well. Yeah, I decided to back-click for the heck of it, you know. Anyways, he leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting idly, leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes from them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I didn't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too. Confidentiality, too. Talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there is some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged to piles on the ground, beside the wall. See? The left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stopped, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So this is your project? You did this? Yes. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but... I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what word is the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? Since I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat. I figure painting would not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, you know, flat, like some people are. No substance, no meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who... Okay, I get it. I know a few girls. Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. So I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that saying, suit yourself without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do it a little before it gets too dark. I want to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, you know, those people who have some? I can't. No. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate it. I hate it. I love it. Yeah. And I can't even speak English anymore. Yeah. Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Hard thinking has nothing to do with that. She gives me a side look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. Guys, this is going to be a very long day and a very long video. Just saying. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new, monotone hue. Rin sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeking, or seeing, in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I got an idea. Add more whites. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream, but you can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow? Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on a plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there were some need to conserve words and breathe and sound. And then came the night. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Go into the night, step into the night, in Kadowa Shoujo! Yeah! Woo! We're up! Just kidding, we're done. This is too long. No, it'd be easily 3 hours by the time I finish up the next day. Okay. Guys, this was fun. This was lots of fun. I love this game to death. I love making this Let's Play. I should have made it sooner. I feel stupid for not doing so. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna make this a quick outro. Nothing much. I'm tired. We're gonna end this now. I think you all know which route I'm heading towards, and there's just one thing I gotta do, and I got it. I got it. I know what I gotta do. So yeah, we're gonna save. I guess that's 2 hours and 38 minutes in. Pretty good. And I believe this is the 4th day. So yes, it is an hour and 17 minutes in. We are going to end this episode of Kadowa Shoujo. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It means a great deal to me. When you go into these visual novel Let's Plays, it really means a lot to me. When you watch these videos, the RPG Maker games, they're great. The horror playthroughs, they're wonderful too. Vlogs, commentaries, all that stuff. I love making all my videos, but visual novels are very special to me. They are very special to me, especially this one. This one holds a special place in my heart now, and I love it, and I want to find new visual novels to do. One visual novel that I'd really love to do is the Higurashi visual novels, but those are hard to find, and I don't have a good enough computer for it, but if I ever do, that's one I'd love to do. Man, that'd be the greatest thing ever. But yes. It's too long a video already. Let's just end it. I'm going for Rin. I think everyone guessed it, but yeah, that's who I'm going for. So yeah, yeah. That's it, guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode of this 3rd episode of Kadowa Shoujo. I'll see you all in episode 4, whatever it may be. And until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye, everyone.